Hello, welcome back to 1874. It's time for a Europa League match preview as Villa take on Maccabi Tel Aviv at Villa Park on Thursday night. This show is sponsored by Match Bingo. If you head to 1874.io/match bingo, you'll be able to buy bingo cards around all the football and sport that's on at the moment, including every Aston Villa game. You buy four, you get one free. They cost £2 each, and you can win between £25 and £250, depending on how lucky you are with bingo. So do that if you fancy supporting the channel, but always gamble responsibly. I'm your host, Dan Bardell, and there's a special treat. We are joined by Villa on Tour. And he said Villa on Tour, aka Max Stokes then. Oh, that does work still.
You've said that before. You've said that before.
It does still work. I was thinking I was like implying that your real name was Villa on Tour, but you're also known as Max Stokes. But yeah, Max, of course, everyone I know Max is. There's no point me introducing him, but Max follows Villa up and down the country and, of course, at Villa Park as well. So, Max, how are you?
I'm very well, Dan. Just having a chat before. I think I'm better than you. Everyone I know in the whole world is ill at the moment. Everyone at work, you, family members. What's going on?
Not feeling good at all. Fitnessed out for tomorrow night, although I don't really want to go to the game anyway, but we'll come on to that very, very shortly. Let's start with some positive news, Max. Let's start with John McGinn's new contract. Just before we've come on, it's been announced that John McGinn has signed a new contract till 2028. His contract ran till 2027 initially. So essentially it's another year on his contract. For me, still such an important player. If I'm picking a team for a cup final tomorrow, I'm finding somewhere for John McGinn to get in that team. I think Unai Emery probably feels the same. Standard setter. When he plays well, Villa play well. Not all Villa fans kind of rate him as highly as maybe me or you and think we should be moving away from some of these kind of players. But for me, just excellent news and a bona fide club legend.
Yeah, 100%. It's as close as you're going to get to a club legend at the moment, isn't it? Obviously, 2028 that will take him to 10 years at Villa, which is pretty unheard of.
That's great, that is.
It's unbelievable. And obviously, we know how much Emery likes a versatile player, and he's just the epitome of that, isn't he? Just a lot of people talk about who would you man of the match be for that Man City game last week? And for me, it was John McGinn. I mean, you could basically pick anybody, fair enough.
Yeah.
But John McGinn, it was just a reminder of what he can do, isn't it? And when the big games come rolling around, he's your man who's going to be that catalyst to hopefully take Villa on to victory. And like you said, cup final, first name on the team sheet, isn't he? So yeah, I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the vlog in a few years at John McGinn's testimonial away at Hibs. Taking his testimonial. You can just imagine something like that happening in a pre-season game, to be fair, can't you? That would be a good trip up to Edinburgh. Let's just carry on with talking about John McGinn. Like, if you think back to, I always think back now when people criticise McGinn, I think back to that PSG game last season in the Champions League where up there with Rashford, he just put in such a good performance, a real leader's performance. And when him and Rashford actually went off, that was when we kind of had no chance of getting back into the game. But with those two on the pitch, we actually looked like we were going to take the Champions League winners all the way. And even this season in the Europa League, you think back to the Conference League, actually in Europe, he's almost been our talisman. He scored a lot of goals in Europe, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's the main man. He obviously scored a couple in the Premier League. Scored a great goal against Fulham, didn't he?
Yeah, he has scored a few. He scored against Bologna. He scored away at not Go Ahead Eagles. I can't remember who he played now. Is it Feyenoord or PSV?
Feyenoord, that's the one.
You should know. You were there. So he scored in those games and scored against Fulham. I think he's just got the one in the Premier League from memory. I could be wrong there.
It's just that catalyst, isn't he? And you talk about that PSG away game. He was the man who basically, his tenacity won the ball back to allow us to get up the pitch for one of the only times in that game that led to the goal. So like I said, when a big game comes around, he is the one who looks like he's got that impetus, and he's just the main man, and he's just so unique as well, isn't he, with his attitude and the way that he plays the game. And you might think he doesn't really look like an athletic type player, but we all know now that he just uses his body so well. And he's probably up there now, close to getting one of my favourite Villa players ever. I'm not sure he can look past him.
Yeah, I think when he leaves, he'll probably make his way into my best ever Villa 11. I'm not sure who'll make way for him, but I've got a feeling he'll make his way in there because he is, like you say, to go to, if he gets to the end of his contract, to go 10 years at one club is unheard of. To have been through the club throughout the growth of the club as well, been through the leagues.
We're not at one level either, are we? It's literally Championship to Champions League, and he hasn't looked out of place throughout that journey at all, has he?
No, it's brilliant news. And thankfully for me, I designed the thumbnail with John McGinn on before that contract news, so that's worked really, really well. Let's talk about the game then, Max. It's hard to preview some of these Europa League games because we don't know much about the opposition. I can't claim to have known much about Bologna, Go Ahead Eagles or Maccabi, so they're always difficult anyway. I've not really spoken about it on the channel. I've said a couple of things, and I've seen social media and talking to you before we came on. You've not really said much about it either. But this is kind of, it's the game that, it's the massive elephant in the room on when people doing podcasts. I don't know whether other podcasts have gone into it, but it's almost the game that nobody wants. I don't feel great about it, and I'm worried about the safety of Villa fans.
Yeah, it is the elephant in the room, and I'm not. It's pointless going into specifics and politics and things like
Yeah.
that. It's just pointless. But I just hope, like you said, that everybody is safe. And if people are thinking, "Oh, I'm not sure whether to go to the game," you absolutely can't blame them. I know previously we've talked about ticket prices and things like that, but this just doesn't compare when you talk about safety and just people getting home at the end of tomorrow night. As long as they get home, that's the main thing. So if you are in doubt, like, no one's going to blame you if you don't go at all, especially when kids are involved and things like that, or elderly people that you take into the game. It's just not worth it. So if there's any element of doubt, you can't blame anyone for not fancying this one at all, can you?
Yeah, I've started to think about it more over the last 24 hours, and I haven't spoken to my dad about it yet. He didn't really want to go initially when the draw was made. I kind of, I said, "Come on, buy your ticket. We should go. It'll be fine, I'm sure." But the longer time's gone on, and I think about if there is to be any trouble tomorrow night, like, I'm fit enough to get myself out of trouble. But my dad struggles around the ground anyway. Would I be able to get him to safety if something happened? Probably not. And then it's like, almost, if he can't go because of those reasons, I don't feel right about going. So I feel very up in the air about it. Just being honest, I wasn't going to speak about stuff like this, but I do think it's quite important to try and gauge how people are feeling, and for people like you and me to talk about it. Not because we're trying to get political or get involved in anything like that. That's something completely different. But I just think my main concern is the safety of Villa fans, and I don't think that can be guaranteed on Thursday night.
No, not really. I said in my video intro that I filmed this morning for tomorrow's game, I don't know what to expect. Will anything happen? Probably, but what that's going to look like, you just don't know. You can't predict it, can you? Obviously, it's come out that West Midlands Police are setting 700 police officers on the game. So is that an ounce of comfort? You don't know. Like,
No.
this could happen anywhere. I know they mentioned extra ticket checks as well on the approach to the ground. Is that going to help if something does kick off? I don't know. I really, really don't know. So it depends on anybody's personal situation, doesn't it? I'm going to go, not just because I'm going to do the vlog. Like, obviously, I'm thinking about safety before that. But like you said, I'm going with a mate, and if something does happen, we are able to get away if needs be. Obviously, that can't be guaranteed as well. You just don't know, but you can't blame anyone for not fancying this.
No, it's really, really tough, because you shouldn't have to live your life like that. At the end of the day, it's a football match, and I want to go and support my team because they're playing at Villa Park, and that's what I do. That's what my dad does. But at the moment, with his circumstances, and like, I'm going to be a dad in 2-3 months as well, it doesn't feel sensible to go. It doesn't feel worth the risk. I'm almost talking myself out of it doing this show now. We didn't plan to do this, really. We said we might touch on it, but the more I think about it, the more I think it is important to talk about stuff. And I've had people tweet me about saying they can't bring themselves to go. They're worried about it. I'd say it's the game that nobody wanted. Should it really be happening? I don't know. It's not good, is it?
It's a shame that the attention's been taken off the football as well, because, like, we're playing in Europe. Like, this is big. Like, I know we've had the luxury of it for the last couple of years, but you still can't take it for granted. We hadn't had it for over a decade before
Yeah.
that, so it's just a shame that the attention isn't on the football at all. And we lost our last Europa League game, so it's a chance to get back to winning ways and get back up the table and look back into that top 8. But just the attention isn't on the game at all, unfortunately.
No, I mean, obviously you're definitely going to go on. I'm feeling 50-50 about it at the moment, but obviously you're my mate. I want you to be safe, and I want all Villa fans to be safe. But it does feel futile, almost talking about the football. And you're right. It's kind of taken. It's another European night at Villa Park. Since the time you've been on this planet, Villa haven't played in Europe. When I was young, it was a thing that happened quite a lot, and I was fortunate to go to some really big games in the UEFA Cup, and great atmosphere at Villa Park, not having to worry about stuff like this. This is our 3rd season in a row in Europe, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a big game, and this is a trophy that Aston Villa want to win. But all the topics and all the dialogue is around stuff that's absolutely nothing to do with Villa and on the pitch. So it is a shame. Let's try and talk about on the pitch then. Villa obviously had a bad night the last time they played in Europe, but have given themselves still a very good chance of finishing top 8 by winning their first 2 games. you'd expect Villa to get the job done at Villa Park, even with changes that there'll probably be.
Yeah, I think so. I think any Premier League team should look to beat an Israeli Premier League team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And like you said, we'll happily make changes, and I'd still go into the game thinking we should win this. I don't think it's going to be a classic atmosphere tomorrow night or anything like that. I think there's going to be a fair few empty seats, like we've talked about. But I don't think there's any disputing we should win this game. And that's not looking down on Maccabi Tel Aviv. Like obviously they're an okay side, but they haven't started great in the Europa League. They've played 3 games, lost 2, drawn 1, scored 1 goal throughout those 3 games as well. So they're not great on paper, and we should be winning this game at home 100%.
They've got Champions League experience. They've been in and around the Champions League a couple of times in recent years. But in all honesty, I'd look at anyone in the Europa League, and without sounding like an arrogant Villa fan, we're so good at home anyway. I would expect us to be capable of beating every team at home. But then I also would have thought Villa would go away and beat Go Ahead Eagles, and they didn't. So I guess, you can't let complacency set in. Obviously, we know the news now about Tyrone Mings. He's going to be out till 2026. I suspect he probably would have played over Powell for this one, and Powell play on Sunday. Last season, we got a batch of centre-back injuries all at the same time. Mings is now ruled out fairly long-term. That's a bad injury there that's going to keep him out of a very busy period for Villa when they're going Thursday to Sunday and then into a hectic Christmas period. I wouldn't be playing Pau Torres tomorrow night. I'd be saving him for Sunday, wrap him up in cotton wool, put Lindelof next to. I mean, I'd like to wrap up Conser as well, but that's probably not going to happen. Or do they just play Lindelof and Bogard and look at that, give them minutes, knowing that they might be needed in this period that's coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking if you're looking at Bogard, who would you play in that midfield? I think you're looking at Barkley.
Barkley can't play, can he? I made this mistake in the last preview. Yeah.
Oh, blimey. Okay, yeah, I'd be a little bit worried about playing. Maybe we'd have no midfield then, would we? I'd look at Lindelof. Obviously, he's played left centre back before, hasn't he?
For Man U, yeah.
Maguire, yeah. So it's probably going to be Konsa and Lindelof, isn't it? And then Cash is playing again, but he plays a hell of a lot of football. But apart from that, you could look at rotating the rest of the squad. It's just that sort of back line is a little bit of a question mark. And Pau Torres obviously loves an injury at this time of year, doesn't he? So
yeah,
it's a tough one.
Yeah, I'd expect Maatsen to play at left back. I'd probably expect Bizot to be in goal for this one as well. I guess, no, I would say I wouldn't want to play Kamara either for this one. I think Sunday is very, very important against Bournemouth, who might be in and around us and trying to compete for the same things that we're trying to compete for in the Premier League. But you're right. Does he then play Onana and McGinn central midfield and get some minutes into Elliott, get some minutes into Sancho, Marlon? I almost think with Watkins, almost wanting to play every game at the moment because I'm just desperate to see him score a goal. Do you think he'll start?
Yeah, I think so. I think with his, obviously, touch wood, but he never gets injured. So he started to Go Ahead Eagles as well. I think that was the sort of same sort of thing. It's like, right, Ollie, we should be winning this game. Go and get yourself a goal. And there's a chance in that game where he probably should have done better. So I think he'll start tomorrow.
Needs a goal, doesn't he? I thought he played well against Manchester City. Liverpool, a bit of a struggle for him. What generally, like, I haven't been to an away game yet this season, so I've not experienced the away crowd. But what are the away fans like with him at the moment? Like he's bang out of form, isn't he? 1 goal. It's November the 5th. It's not brilliant. Me and you are both big fans of him, but I can't sit here and say 1 goal in November is great. What are the away fans? What's the reaction been like?
I think it's hard to gauge because all we see throughout the week is social media, and it's often a scapegoat. Previously it's been Cash, or at the moment it's Watkins, and absolutely you can have scrutiny because it's 1 goal, 0 assists in 15, I think, at the moment, going back to last season. But I don't think it's specifically Watkins again. Gesson's put 5 chances on a plate for him. That just hasn't happened. There's equal amounts of scrutiny from what I've experienced on the likes of Gesson, Marlon maybe a little bit less because he simply doesn't play, and Rodgers at the start of the season. There's equal amounts of scrutiny. I don't think it's all on Watkins at all. And yeah, the stats aren't great, but I think they're not great across the board in terms of the whole team creating chances. It's not just Watkins. And yes, he's missed a couple. I alluded to the Go Ahead Eagles chance, or there's one right at the end of the Sunderland game, that one-on-one with Donnarumma against Man City. There have been occasions where, yeah, absolutely, he should have done better, but I don't think it can all rely on him. I think you're looking at Gesson as well, who for me has got to pull his finger out a little bit more at the moment. Okay, he's in the team because he can play defensively, but I don't think we should be spending £30 million on an attacker. And he's played a lot of football, and at the moment, I haven't really seen anything at all. Okay, he scored a Go Ahead Eagles, fair enough. He's in the right place at the right time. Not a great goal. Sunderland chance where he was 5 yards out, straight at the goalkeeper. It's got to be better across the board for me.
No, you're the same as me. People will know who watch the channel and listen to the channel every week that I'm finding it difficult with Gasson at the moment. It's early days. He could turn out to be a fantastic player for us, but at the moment, I just don't think he's doing enough. It's almost
I'm
like
looking at. I know you've mentioned it before. Leon Bailey, is he really an upgrade on that? And like you
not
said,
for me
still
right
early,
now.
100%. Bertrand Traore's playing every week for Sunderland. I'm
Yeah,
not saying we should have kept him 100%, but it's just context, isn't it? Watara, for example, like that sort of level in terms of pricing that Brentford has spent on him, scored a couple of goals, proven in the Premier League. Just think £30 million on an attacker. He's got to be showing more at this early stage.
yeah. With our PSR constraints as well, if you're spending that money on a player, you've got to get it right. Like you can't afford to get anything wrong really in the transfer market. And like we've said, it may not be wrong, but I'm finding him a hard watch at the moment because he just seems to have one default setting at the moment. That's just
Yeah.
run. And if I hit someone and get tackled, fine. Like that is
Yeah,
literally seems to be his default setting.
at times it can work. Like fair play, came on against Man City and he had that run, didn't he, where he ran and ran and ran, like you
Yeah.
said, and then beat Foden off and did really well. But if you're looking for someone to create that spark, it's not quite happening. We're quite lucky that Buendia stepped up at the start of this season, but obviously he's out at the moment. So Sancho's got to step up. I think he'll probably start
Yeah,
tomorrow. He's got a good chance. So yeah, these players have got to step up now and start creating for Watkins. And then if he doesn't take them, okay, really go in on him. We've got to step up across the board.
Yeah, it could be Sancho, Elliott, and Gesson actually. I think
Yeah,
that would probably be the three off the.
he's not playing Rodgers, really.
I wouldn't. Again, I just wouldn't play him.
Yeah, me
for
too.
this one.
Me too. But I don't
We
see
should
him
have
really doing that.
I guess in Watkins. Well, this is kind of a defence of Watkins, and also I suppose a little bit of a criticism of him as well. Other than Buendia, who you just mentioned, like anyone who's playing off the striker, McGinn's had great games when he's played there, but no one's been firing on all cylinders. I think Rodgers is getting there now, but
Yeah.
I guess throughout the whole season, the attack's not been at the best.
No, it hasn't. I mean, the stats don't lie. They're not great in terms of creating chances. We haven't been missing heaps and heaps. We just simply haven't been
XG's
creating
low.
them. No, it's bad. What is it? 9 goals in 10 games in the Premier League. It's
Something like that.
It's not great. And then you look at the games like Fulham, we scored 3. So that just says that in the rest of the games, it's not been great at all. Just back on Rodgers, I think he didn't start at Go Ahead Eagles, did he?
No, he came
on. So maybe he doesn't start tomorrow night, to be fair. I'd love to see Harvey Elliott. Like it's a game we should be winning. It's a game we should be creating chances. Just give the guy a go, please.
I'd suggest with Buendia probably out of this one. Like, if he's not going to play against Maccabi at home, when is he ever going to play?
Exactly. Like, when's it going to happen? And you say he can play behind the striker, and Rodgers isn't not going to play in the Premier League. So this is the perfect chance for Harvey Elliott to play. And we should, like I said, be creating chances and be on the front foot in this game. So if he doesn't start this one, that's a massive question mark.
Yeah, because the players that don't play as well, Emery's shown this previously in the Conference League. They're on the bench. If you need them, you bring them on. But even if you're doing well in the game, he'll still bring you on and just drill some minutes into you so that you've got something into you before Sunday. So I think he managed that well in the Conference League. So I'm expecting him to manage it again well in the Europa League, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think back in the Conference League, we were very good Thursday to Sunday, and if we can, I think we've maintained that pretty well so far, off the top of my head. So if we can continue that would be fantastic. But I just think I'd love to get top 2 in the Europa League. I think John Townley's spoken about it quite a lot because it means that you play home in the knockout second, and obviously that'll be a massive advantage. But all in all, it's just getting that top 8, and I'd fancy us, but. Got to be winning tomorrow night.
Okay, can I trouble you for a score prediction, Max?
Ooh, haven't really thought about it. Similar to Bologna, maybe. I don't think it's going to be a thriller for various reasons. But I'll go 2-0, and if we can have a Watkins goal in there, that'll be lovely.
Yeah, I was going to go for 2-0 as well. I'm going to go for Watkins and Harvey Elliott to get on the score sheet.
I just hope Maccabi Tel Aviv haven't got like a secret gem. Do you remember that striker who no one had ever heard of for Olympiacos?
Oh, he was good.
Did he score 5 against us over the 2 legs?
Yeah, he was on fire, wasn't he?
Oh my word, terrible. El Karbi or something like that, I think
Something
it was.
like
He
that.
was absolutely phenomenal. So I hope Maccabi Tel Aviv haven't got any gems like that, because they're doing all right in their league, to be fair, as they should. I think they're second at the moment, unbeaten in 9 games.
Oh,
That's
Max,
my knowledge.
it's good. It's good.
In the Europa League, they're not good. So let's capitalise on that, please.
This is stuff, Max just knows this. He's not looked it up before he's come on the show. He just has this information in his locker.
Follow it closely, the Israeli Premier League, very closely.
Yeah, I was saying about, like, earlier to you, like, if this had been away, you might have been going to. go wherever they play. I think we looked and they've been playing in Serbia.
Yeah, Belgrade they play
Yeah,
in. So I don't even know if away fans are
no.
allowed there or home fans. I have no idea what the situation is, but I wouldn't have fancied going to Belgrade either, to be honest.
No. Okay. Well, let's call it a day. Yeah, thank you very much for joining me today, Max. Really appreciate it. I haven't actually spoke to you for a while, so it's great to get you on the channel. And I guess let us know your thoughts in the comments. I imagine it's going to be more around what we spoke about at the start, the kind of Villa Park situation tomorrow night and the John McGinn contract. So do let us know in the comments what you're thinking, and give us a like and subscribe with your post notifications on as well. We're on Spotify video now. I'd like to know if you are using Spotify video, because I don't know whether it's taking views away from YouTube video. So let me know if you have moved over from YouTube to Spotify in the comments. If you can, please give us 5 stars on there and 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if I could trouble you for a written review on Apple Podcasts as well, that would be absolutely fantastic. Be back on either Thursday night or Friday with some form of reaction to the game as well. If I go with my dad, I will do a through the turnstiles as well. But as I say, I'm not at 100% at the moment, and I'm having a bit of a mental battle with the game in general, so undecided what I'm doing at the moment. But I say I will let you know. I'm probably not going to do a tweet about whether I go or not. You'll just see whether I'm there from my social media and from this channel. So thanks again to Max. If you are going tomorrow night, then please be safe. Like, I appreciate that there may be things that you don't want to get involved in that you end up being involved in, and it might be hard to keep yourself safe, but just do what you can to be safe. And if you have doubts like me and you're worried about it, just do what's right for you. Don't worry about what other people think. Just do what you think is the right thing for you. Only one thing left to say. It's an up the Villa from me, and it's an up the Villa from Max Stokes.
Up the Villa.